Week 11 in the NFL kicks off with the ATL with the New England Patriots taking on the Falcons. Patriots may have gotten off to a sluggish 2-4 start, but have been red hot ever since, winning 4 straight and are only half a game back in the AFC East. This year's version of the Patriots isn't too much different than in recent years past. Their defense making plays all over the field. They're getting balanced production in the run game, and rookie quarterback Mac Jones playing smart and efficient football.
It's just a 3-level game, and when we click on all cylinders, we can be pretty good.
As for the Falcons, any momentum they might have had winning 3 out of 4 coming into Week 10, quickly thrown out the windows. They got hammered by the Cowboys.
When you get knocked down, you got to get back up quick, and we've got a Thursday night game this week, and we've got to have a great attitude getting into the building so we can play our best Thursday night.
While it's been nearly 5 years since the infamous 28-3 lead that got away from the Falcons in the Super Bowl, this franchise has not been the same since. Will they take a step in the right direction against the surging Patriots? Or will Belichick and the Pats make it 5 in a row and show they're a legit threat in the AFC? Week 11 is about to get underway.
Welcome in 2 of the 3 members that make up the Pick 6 podcast. Download and follow today. Will Brinson and Ryan Wilson. Mac Jones is among the favorites to win Rookie of the Year. Led the Patriots to a dominating win over the Cleveland Browns. New England looking for its 5th straight win on Thursday night. Ryan, are you ready to anoint Mac Jones as the next great young quarterback?
Akeem, look who you're talking to. I'm driving the Mac Jones bandwagon from way back during draft season. I'm going to own the Mac Jones bandwagon as we go over the cliff and parachute safely down the bottom of the canyon on our way to Offensive Rookie of the Year. Look, man, he looks great. Every time he takes the field, he's not asked to do a lot. And you know, Brent and I talk about this a lot on the Pick 6 podcast when we talk about these Patriots games. He's not asked to do a lot, but he plays within the confines of the offense. Josh McDaniels trusts him. This throw right here to Kendrick Bourne was one of the best throws he made all season inside of double coverage. Great catch, great throw. And we're seeing more and more of that as we get through the season with Mac Jones. So they're going to put more on his plate. They can lean on that running game. They can lean on that defense. And we don't talk about it enough, Akeem, but landing spot is so incredibly important for these quarterbacks. And Mac Jones has the best possible, best case scenario in terms of where he ended up in New England.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. And when you look at the Mac Jones and what's going on with him, you know, this is not like he could easily win Rookie of the Year without having volume. Because what he's got going on right now is efficiency. And, you know, efficiency while leading the Patriots to win, something they didn't have last year. This team reminds me of 2001. And I know that seems kind of insane to suggest. But before the Patriots became, you know, the 2007, the blowtorch NFL destroyers, you know, they were a defense run-based team that got efficient quarterback play, like not game management, but, you know, just like clutch performance on third downs, clutch performance in the red zone, and an innate ability not to turn the ball over. Mac Jones is basically, I don't want to say a rich man's Tom Brady, but he's a first-round pick, right? So he's sort of doing some of the same stuff that we saw from Tom Brady early in his career. I think Bill Belichick purposely rebuilt the Patriots in this way, and now it's starting to really click. And if you're the Falcons, you have to be worried about them coming to town.
Mac Jones looking to become the first rookie quarterback to win 5 straight games since Dak Prescott in 2016. Speaking of Prescott, he and the Cowboys shredded the Falcons on Sunday. Matt Ryan had a 21.7 passer rating. Is that good? No, it's not. It's terrible. The worst of his career. He got benched in the third quarter for Josh Rosen. Will, could you see a similar scenario for Matt Ryan facing a stout Patriots defense?
Yeah, I think it's possible in the sense, Akeem, that when you look at the way that this game script could play out with what the Patriots have going for them, they have Damian Harris back. He's going to be active. I don't believe he's carrying a designation, cleared the concussion protocol. Ramondre Stevenson, the rookie they drafted this year, by the way, really good draft class for the Patriots. Nick Caserio gone. Interesting. The Ramondre Stevenson running really well, looked awesome against this team from the AFC North last week, plunging into the end zone multiple times en route to a 45-7 victory over someone from the AFC North that will remain nameless. And the Pats just, they can pound the ball. They can take some shots down the field with Mac Jones, expect to see Hunter Henry involved in the red zone, and then they can lean into the run. And all of a sudden, what happens then when the Falcons are down 17, 21-0, even 14-0? They're having to drop back, crank up their pass rate. Matt Ryan's getting pressured by Matthew Judon, who's been a revelation as an edge rusher this year for New England as well. Bill Belichick's sending all kinds of crazy fronts, and then suddenly confusion reigns and the Falcons are down big. That is a very, very viable game script for Thursday night.
Here's a not-so-fun game we play on the Pick Six podcast every week. Would you rather? Would you rather have Matt Ryan or Ben Roethlisberger start for your team next week? And it goes back and forth based on who they're playing, because last week Big Ben won that battle, and he had COVID, Akeem. That's how terrible Matt Ryan and that offense was. No-showed. The Cowboys look great. Maybe that says more about Dallas than it does about Atlanta. Arthur Smith, the new head coach, certainly looks frustrated, and that's a guy who you never saw have any emotion on the sidelines when he was the OC for the Titans. Now, look, as we sit here, the Falcons are 4-5, and they're just one spot out mathematically from the final playoff spot in the NFC. Newsflash, they ain't going to the playoffs. There's no way on God's green earth they're going to find their way into the playoffs. There are teams who are also at 4-5 who are better than them. There are teams behind them who with worse records, like the Seahawks, for example, who are also better than the Falcons. I think the Falcons have been benefited by winning games they should have won against terrible teams, and then getting their doors blown off by the teams that we expect them to lose to. I feel bad for Matt Ryan on some level, and I do wonder if he'll play next year. We had some conversation maybe they would draft a quarterback last spring. They did not, but I don't see a situation where he's going to find that mojo that helped the Falcons to the Super Bowl several years ago and suddenly get this Falcons team back on track.
Cordero Patterson has been the pleasant surprise for the Falcons. He's dealing with a sprained ankle, so certainly his status is up in the air. He has 7 total touchdowns this season. I mean, look, that was a waiver wire miracle pickup for a team in my league. How about that? Patriots have won and covered 6 straight against the Falcons. New England is a 7-point favorite on Thursday night. Ryan, do the Patriots cover for a 7th straight time against Atlanta?
Yes. Next question. No, look, I don't know how the Falcons are going to – what are the Falcons going to do differently that they haven't done the first 2 months of the season to magically slow down this Patriots team? A team, as Brenton and I have just noted, have gotten better each and every week, in part because of their quarterback, but in part because they have a running game and also because that defense is playing lights out. And I mentioned that the Falcons are 4-5 and 1 game out of the final playoff spot. When you look at the advanced metrics, our buddies at Football Outsiders have the Atlanta Falcons 32nd overall. That means they are worse than the Lions. They are worse than the Texans. That gets your attention. The Patriots, meanwhile, are 5th overall, and I expect that to play out over the course of 60 minutes tomorrow night. The better football team's not only going to win, I think they're going to win convincingly.
Yeah, I'm on the Patriots too, and look, there are a lot of people, not a lot of people. There's some sharp people on the Falcons catching 7 points, and I don't blame them. 2 of the last 3 primetime games we've had, whether it's San Francisco hosting the Rams on Monday night as a 3.5-point dog, or take it back to last Thursday when a team from up north traveled south. But we had the Ravens going down to Miami as a huge favorite, and they got blitzkrieged by the Dolphins, who had a really good game plan. It is possible that we see the Falcons figure out a way to mess up Mac Jones. I just don't know what that way is. And it sort of boils down to, do you think the NFL is weird? Do you think that Matt Ryan can come out with a great offensive game plan the Falcons can run the ball? I mean, do you think Kyle Pitts, because there's just you look at this matchup, it's just terrible for the Falcons. I got the Patriots at -6 earlier in the week. Of course, it was -5.5. 7 is a ton. They could come through the back door. But I'm not fading Bill Belichick right now. I think he looks at this game coming in on a short week. You go down there, you play to your strengths. You run the football and play great defense. Mac Jones doesn't make any mistakes. By the way, I believe Mac Jones didn't he win the title in that same building down there in Atlanta?
Yes,
So
yes.
Familiar vibes there for Mac. I think he'll be ecstatic to be back there. Lots of people near and dear to his heart, family and friends coming to the game. And you go down there and you say, give yourself a win, a convincing win against Atlanta, and it serves notice that 10 days you got the Titans, who are the #1 seed in the AFC. And after that, Buffalo, with another game against Buffalo looming after your bye, I think they go down there and take care of business and set themselves up for this run against AFC teams.
Will, I know you said you got it earlier in the week, but would you suggest people buying it down to 6.5 if you are taking the New England Patriots?
No, I can't legitimately suggest buying a half a point. I think you just take it at 7. If you believe the Patriots are going to win, you have to think the Patriots can win convincingly because they're laying 7 on the road. I mean, that's a big number.
All right, let's target the prop market now. We'll start with you. What are your top player props for Thursday night?
So I love Kyle Pitts. I've got him on my main fantasy league as a tight end. I'll be playing him on Thursday. And I'm not expecting very many points because what is the one thing that we've heard repeated over and over and over and over about Bill Belichick teams and how he operates on defense? He takes away your best weapon. If Cordero Patterson is unable to go, and I know we heard Arthur Smith say on Wednesday afternoon he's a true game-time decision, so we won't actually know until right before the game. But if Patterson's unable to go, there is no chance that Bill Belichick isn't bracketing Kyle Pitts, with a cornerback and a safety. Kyle Pitts' numbers, his yards per route run, are bottom percentiles in the NFL against cornerbacks, top tier percentiles against safeties and linebackers. The Patriots have given up, I think, the third fewest yards to tight ends and the bottom 5 in terms of catches allowed to tight ends. They are going to lock Kyle Pitts down and force Matt Ryan to go elsewhere. I'm going to take the under on Kyle Pitts receiving yards, 66.5.
I'm going to go under as well, but I'm going to go under 255.5 Mac Jones passing yards. At the start of the season, he threw over 255 yards 4 times. He went 1-3. The one team he beat was the Jets. Big whoop, it doesn't count. Joe Flacco starting for the Jets this week. Think about that for a second. The last 3 weeks, he's thrown for less than 200 yards on average. They're 3-0. And we keep talking about it, Akeem. It's running game and defense. Have Mac Jones convert on third down, third and mid, third and short. And he's doing that. And there's no need to sling the ball all over the yard. I would imagine that the Falcons offense is going to have plenty of turnovers because that seems to be what they do. And I think they're just going to run the ball, the Patriots are, run off clock, get up to 2-3 scores, and sort of cruise into the end of the game there. So I don't expect it to be a shootout. But as Brinson noted, the last few Thursday night games, what we thought were going to be blowouts in one direction ended up being pretty close and going in the other direction. So we'll see, but it certainly feels like a blueprint for Mac Jones not to need to throw the ball a bunch and to lean on his teammates to do most of the heavy lifting.
Ryan Wilson and Will Brinson breaking down the Thursday Nighter here on HQ. Men, thank you. And for all things NFL, check out the Pick Six podcast. Join host Will Brinson and his super friends Ryan Wilson and John Breach, delivering your daily fix of NFL news and analysis. Get you up to speed so you're always in the know. The Pick Six podcast. Download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.